Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've been talking about Ubisoft Star Wars Outlaws for a bit now, but one of the things we haven't really got the chance to speak about is the overall greed aspect when it comes to the new game from Ubisoft, because everybody's focused on how ugly the character is. And listen, I get it. The character is god ugly and is definitely doing shame to the original actress who modeled for her. And I mean, just look at that picture. But besides the point, besides the character being ugly, one of the things we need to talk about is the greed aspect. Ladies and gentlemen, Ubisoft, now the attention seems to be shifting from the character being ugly to people digging a little bit deeper and talking about the absolute disgusting release pricing that they have for this game and how not only predatory it is, but overall how absolutely ridiculous it is from a company like Ubisoft.
You're making me pay you to stand at the cash register? What is the meaning of this? Have you gone off the deep end?
So let's get into this article, guys, from Bounding into Comics. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. It says Ubisoft Star Wars Outlaws faces massive backlash over absurd release pricing and the protagonist's in-game model looking worse than the real-world actress. Now, this article is a combination of the two issues, kind of talking over the entire thing that's regarding Star Wars Outlaws. In the latest instance of the franchise, suffering under Disney's ownership, the upcoming Star Wars Outlaws video game has found itself facing an outpouring of criticism for its continuing of some of the video game's worst modern-day design trends. First announced back in June of 2023, Star Wars Outlaws recently re-entered the public discourse thanks to the release of both its official story trailer and details regarding its various retail editions, both of which have been met with a scathing reception from players. Using third-party plugins to view dislikes, one can see at the time of the article writing, the upload of the trailer on Ubisoft's own YouTube channel has a like-to-dislike ratio of 4.15, which is 36,000 likes to 135,000 dislikes across almost 2 million views. Now, one of the things I want to talk about is when you want to see them online, right, on Twitter and whatnot, they will love to convince you that this is what the modern audience wants, right? This is what gamers want. Real gamers want this. Real gamers want these abusive practices. Real gamers want these modern characters that they can see themselves in. Okay, well, if that's the case, if real gamers want all this stuff, where are these real gamers? You talk about them being the majority of the player base and the people who hate this stuff are the fringe minority, but why is it that every time stuff like this happens, the like to dislike ratio is obscene, almost 4 to 5 times more dislikes than there is likes? Where is all the support? Where's the outpouring support for this stuff? Where is your modern audience? I'll tell you where it is. It's bullshit. It doesn't exist. The modern audience is not real. It is a fake thing that these activists sell these publishers and these game companies to make games for people that don't exist. That's why you have all these people fighting against it and very few in actual support of it. Then it says, meanwhile, the upload posted to the official Star Wars channel holds a ratio of 17.28, which is 34,000 likes to 56,000 dislikes across almost 772,000 views, while the story trailer developer breakdown notably posts its own ratio of 925, 2,700 likes to 7,500 dislikes with 59,000 views. So it doesn't matter across the board. Whatever channel's hosting the video, the trailer is getting absolutely ratioed to the moon. It doesn't matter. Though reasons for this backlash are numerous, per comments regarding the game made both on social media and on its own respective trailer uploads, the main points of contention players are having with the Star Wars Outlaws artistic direction and its absurd monetization schemes. Now, we've already spoken about the fact that the characters are ultra ugly. Okay, we've already spoken about this. There's no reason to even bother going into it even more because we get it. Okay, they completely destroyed the character. It's very typical of a modern day AAA game. Somehow, some way, the female character gets uglified, but the male character somehow is able to do a one-to-one comparison. Who really knows at the end of the day? Let's talk about the actual monetization, because this is where Ubisoft shows their true colors. And let's be real, ladies and gentlemen, the chances of them doing this, or the reason why they're doing this, is simply because they have to, right? They've alienated so much of their fan base that they have to milk whoever is left. That's why the prices are going through the moon. It used to be that you could get the ultimate edition of whatever game for $99.99 or like 90 some odd dollars. That's what it used to be. Now, not the case. For the standard edition, players will need to fork over a worryingly growing industry standard price of $70. Then there's the gold edition, which for the price of $110 $30 gets the player not just the game, but also 3 days early access, the Kessel Runner Cosmetic Pack, which includes 1 skin apiece for Kay Vest Speeder and her starship, the Trailblazer, and the Game Season Pass, which notably grants players the ability to play an exclusive mission, Jabba's Gambit, at launch. So, bad enough that they're taking missions that are already in the game. They're taking missions that are in the CD currently right now. That game has that mission in there right now, but instead of allowing you to play it, they are locking it behind a paywall. They are locking an already available mission behind a paywall. This is not DLC. This is not content after the fact. This is content that was made for the game that is being subsidized and scratched away from the main game and sold as a add-on pack. It is such a fucking bullshit monetization scheme, and this shit should not be supported in the slightest. Then they say, finally, for a whopping $130, players can take home the Ultimate Edition. Its offerings include not only all the above items, but also access to an extra Kessel Run skins for Kay and her alien companion, Nyx, the Rogue Infiltrator and Sabak Shark vehicle skin bundles, and a digital art book. Honestly, bro, like 130, like this is where we're at. This is where we're at. This is where allowing these gaming developers and these publishers to get away with this shit for so long, this is where we're at now, to the point where they are basically like highway robbing you, okay? And I get it. These games cost a lot of money, right? The fact that they had to license out Star Wars, I would guarantee cost them a lot of money, which is why they're trying to charge so much for this particular game. But I don't care, okay? I don't care. Nobody, no real gamer will care, because the fact of the matter is you are taking out content from the game that is readily available right now in that disc. You are taking it out and trying to lock it behind a paywall. That monetization scheme is disgusting. It really is. And that shit has to stop. And it says, while these two transgressions may be the target of players' ire, the game has also been privy to a wide variety of lesser-known controversies, including the accusation that Ubisoft engaged a bot army to generate interest in the title, which they did, and developer Massive Entertainment's recent turn to promoting their respective eco-friendly and gender equality initiatives, which they did, and the fact that it continues a trend of physical games needing an online connection to install, particularly worrying more given that Ubisoft Director of Subscriptions, Philip Tremblay's previous declaration that players should get used to the idea of relying on digital storefronts for their collections. Now, let's be very clear. We just made a video on the crew, okay? The fact that Ubisoft removed the crew from people's libraries and are stopping you from being able to download a game that you purchase, this is the future of what they want. They want to be able to sell you everything under the sun and then be able to take it away from you when it's no longer convenient for them to host it. That is a big problem with the digital storefront right now. That is why I do not advocate for this nonsense. I do not advocate for companies like Ubisoft to have complete control. The fact that you need to be online to install a disc is ridiculous. That's completely like hypocritical to the whole reason for owning a disc in the first place. You shouldn't need to have a online connection in order to install a game if you bought a physical disc for it. That just makes no fucking sense, right? All that tells me is that they want absolute control over everything, like literally everything, to the point where there is no more freedom in owning a product now. There's no more buying something and owning it, which, I mean, listen, we've known that for a while, considering where they're trying to go. There's no more of that. They want you to own nothing and be happy. They want you to pay for access to their games, to play it while it's relevant, and in the moment it's not good enough for them anymore, they're going to take it away from you and you lost your money. That's it. That's all they want. And the fact is, these games are not just one-stop buys, right? This is a game that's going to try to get you to spend more and more and more money. They already got a season pass that they're trying to get you to buy. They already got a whole bunch of DLCs they're trying to get you to buy. So you're going to spend all this money, and eventually for what? For it to just go away? I guess since it's a single-player game, maybe it doesn't have that same level of fear, but ultimately it's still ridiculous, and Ubisoft is a greedy-ass company just like all of them, and we need to start calling them out on it more aggressively. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.